Let us put ourselves in the presence of God. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, we praise and thank you for everything that you've given to us, for the good health, for the people surrounding us, and um, for our family, for friends, for colleagues, and may you continue to give us wisdom as we go through this meeting for today, and continue to guide us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay,
Amen.
please make a roll call, Secretariat.
Good afternoon, sir. Please acknowledge when your name is called. Engineer Balukating,
Present.
Attorney Daniel
Right.
Lucas,
Ka na ba?
General
Meeting ka.
Ernesto Armilo,
Present online. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Sir Arnold, and the rest of the participants and attendees.
good afternoon, sir. Engineer Elmer Gomez,
Present online. Good afternoon to all.
Engineer Arnel Barlado, and Attorney Danjon G. Lucas.
Present.
Good afternoon, sir. And BAC TWG, and the end user.
Present, ma'am.
Thank you. Head BAC TWG, Attorney Frank Edward Martin.
Present.
Attorney Mark Nestor T. Mendoza. Engineer Raul Crucena. Engineer Michael Ian Ilagan. Engineer Eva Lazatin. Engineer Joferan Joseph Torrefranca.
Present online. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. Engineer Emmanuel Tolosa. Engineer Eduardo Moises Sacupon.
Present online. Good afternoon to
Good
all.
afternoon. Engineer Norek Baez.
Present online. Good afternoon.
Engineer Adelio M. Arganda. Mr. Mark Kevin Badua. And the overall head secretariat, Dr. Rolly Tibayaban. Head secretariat, Attorney Iris Presion.
Present.
And Attorney Bo Masiglat. Ms. Annalisa Tarfranca, and the other members of BAC secretaries are also present, sir. That's all. Observers, COA, Internal Audit, and DOT.
Present online.
Good afternoon po. That's all po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Secretariat, what is our agenda for today?
Sir, our first agenda for today, sir, is the opening of bids for the improvement of airport facilities, rehabilitation of PTB, fire station building and control tower at Buswanga Airport, sir, amounting to 6,231,912 pesos and 75 centavos, sir.
Okay, so this is the opening of bids. So did somebody submit bid for this project?
Yes, sir, we have one submission for this, sir.
Okay, we have one bidder. How about some background on this project? How many bidder buy the document or become interested previously?
We also have just one bidder who bought for this project, sir.
Okay. So, do we have a representative from this bidder?
Yes, sir, we have our representative online, sir, waiting for us to admit, sir.
Okay, so we start with admit him, and then we start with the opening of bid.
May we ask for the representative of EM Abin Trading and Construction? Sir, ma'am, may please introduce yourself and the company that you represent. Mr. Chair, in the interest of time, may we proceed with the opening, sir, and our representative may just uh, introduce himself or herself during the opening, sir.
Okay, you may proceed.
Permission to open, sir.
Proceed.
On the submitted envelope, one envelope inside, the original bid. On the original envelope, the envelope inside, the original eligibility technical component and the original financial component. With tabbing, pagination and signature each page. Checklist, please.
Valid PhilJEP certificate of registration and membership.
Certificate of PhilJEP's registration, platinum membership issued to EM Abin Trading and Construction. Valid until February 12, 2022. Submitted.
Annex A of the certificate of PhilJEP's registration and platinum membership.
Annex A submitted.
Registration certificate from the Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Trade and Industry, Cooperative Development Authority, or its equivalent.
DTI certificate. Expiration date February 15, 2024. Submitted.
Mayor's business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or its equivalent document.
Mayor's permit issued at City of Puerto Princesa. Expiration date December 31, 2021.
Tax clearance.
Wait lang. Submitted is the renewed mayor's permit. Expiration date December 31, 2022. Submitted.
Tax clearance.
Tax clearance. Expiration date July 14, 2022. Submitted.
Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid.
Statement of all ongoing government and private contracts. Submitted.
Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, SLCC.
Statement of single largest contract. Submitted.
PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of joint venture.
Pickup license issued to EM Abin Trading and Construction. Expiration date June 30, 2022. Submitted.
Original copy of bid security.
Bid security in the form of bid security declaration. Signed and notarized, submitted.
Organizational chart for the contract to be bid.
Organizational chart, submitted.
List of contractors' key personnel.
List of key personnel, submitted.
List of contractors' major equipment units.
List of equipment, submitted.
Omnibus sworn statement.
Omnibus sworn statement. Signed and notarized, submitted.
Certificate of no pending cases against the government.
Certificate of no
Pending.
no pending case against the government, signed and notarized, submitted.
Legal clearance issued by the CAAP Enforcement and Legal Service with respect to the non-pending cases of the prospective bidder against this authority.
Legal clearance issued to EM Abin Trading and Construction, signed by Attorney Roberto Martin Benaventura, submitted.
Dated. Bid bulletin number 1.
Bid bulletin number 1 dated with the bid number of 21-007-12 Alpha, submitted.
Certificate of site inspection, duly signed by the airport manager or his duly authorized representative.
Certificate of site inspection issued to Norbil Dabi, issued January 5, 2022, signed by Mr. Mark Jamauden, submitted.
Copy of the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection.
Copy of the company ID with the name of Norbel Dabi, submitted.
Copy of the airport facility visitors logbook reflecting the name of the person who conducted the site inspection.
Copy of the airport visitors logbook with an entry name of Norbel David, submitted.
Picture of the proposed site, including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or his duly authorized representative.
Pictures of the proposed site, including the representative of the contractor and the representative of the airport, submitted.
Bidders' audited financial statements.
Bidders' audited financial statement with the fiscal year of 2019-2020, received and stamped by BIR on April 14, 2021, submitted.
Bidders' computation of net financial contracting capacity, NFCC.
NFCC amounting to 298.
Mr. Chair, may I just butt in? Mr. Chair,
Yeah, sir, go ahead, sir. Sir Milo.
may I request the secretariat, the one when you fold it, can you center it if you can? You send you have it centered, pwede ba? Ayan, oh. Wag na yung next. Yan, okay. Sige, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir.
NFCC amounting to 298,407,605 pesos and 17 centavos submitted.
Joint venture agreement if applicable.
Not applicable.
That's all po.
Walang title sa harap. The submitted technical and eligibility component of EM Abin Trading and Construction rated as pass.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, sir.
yeah, can we go first before we go to financial? Can we go first the mayor's permit, the list of eligibility documents? The mayor's permit, can you flash it? I just want to be clarified. The mayor's permit, the validity, sige, pakibaba mo. Di, sa baba. Di, yung marami kanina, yung sunod-sunod, may DTI, and so on and so forth. Yan.
Ito sir, validity.
Yan. Is it expiration date December 31, 2021? Issuance date January 21. How is this? May I just be clarified on our existing regulation on this? The expiration date expires December 31. Am I?
Okay, TWG, please.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, the Annex A of the submitted eligibility and technical proposal of Abin construction is not updated, Mr. Chair. However, they provided they also attach the updated mayor's copy, and it is okay, Mr. Chair, based on the GPPB rules that the mayor's permit or any document as indicated in Annex A, even if it is required, provided that they were able to provide as well the updated and the current permits and registration, it is acceptable, sir. And in this case, they provided an updated mayor's permit, which is valid until December 31, 2022, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Attorney. Sir Milo, is your query already answered?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sinigurado ko lang na mayroong updated. Thank you, Attorney Marty.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, permission to open the financial.
May proceed.
Bill of Quantities, Summary of Bid Proposal,
Summary of bid proposal submitted.
Bill of Materials and Cost Estimates,
Bill of material and cost estimate submitted.
Summary Sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials,
Summary for unit price of material submitted.
labor rates,
Summary for unit price of labor submitted.
equipment rentals,
Summary for unit price of equipment submitted.
cash flow by quarter and payment schedule,
Cash flow by quarter and payment schedule submitted.
and financial bid.
Financial bid in the amount of 6,143,028 pesos and 04 centavos with no discount. 6,143,028 pesos and 04 centavos with no discount and within the ABC.
Mr. Chair, in your screen right now is the summary of the submitted bid, and we only have a lone bidder who initially rated as passed during the opening of bids in the bid amount of 6,143,028 pesos and 04 centavos. So with that, Mr. Chair, we are the technical working group is hereby recommending that the lone bidder EM Abin Trading and Construction be subjected to bid evaluation to ascertain completeness of bids and to determine whether there are mathematical or arithmetical correction, Mr. Chair, for consideration and approval of the committee, sir.
To the members of the BAC, there is a recommendation for the conduct of bid evaluation for the loan bidder on this project. Any comment or suggestion or query or motion?
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, sir.
I move to adopt the recommendation of the technical working group for the EM Avid Trading to undergo bid evaluation.
Seconded, Mr. Chair.
Okay, as per the recommendation of TWG with the motion and second the motion, the BAC adopt the recommendation of TWG for the conduct of bid evaluation for EM, Abin Training and Construction for the project procurement and of improvement of airport facilities at Buswanga Airport. Thank you. Secretariat, what is the next agenda?
The next item in our agenda, Mr. Chair, is the pre-bid conference of number 1 for the upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport with bid number 22-00201 Alpha with an ABC of 25 million, an ANS DOTR downloaded project, Mr. Chair. For this, Mr. Chair, may we request the BAC Secretariat to confirm if we have bidders who signify their interest for these projects?
Previously, Mr. Chair, there were two bidders who requested for the meeting link for this project, sir.
Okay, could you request them to introduce themselves?
To all our prospective bidders online, ma'am, sir, can you introduce yourself and the company that you represent?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. I'm JP Ordiliano from One Commerce International Corporation.
Thank you, sir.
May I know what part of what item is Mr. Philip Ordiliano is joining for?
Yes, I'm interested to join for the upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, Mr. Chair, the technical working.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
This is Edwin Rivera from Gen Diesel Philippines Inc. We're interested in joining the bid for the project upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other representatives or interested bidders? Should there be none? Sir, ma'am, should you have any questions after the presentation, you may ask your questions. Please kindly just introduce yourself and the company you represent before asking your question. Thank you.
For the technical working group, Mr. Chair, Engineer Joffet Torrefranca will present on behalf of the technical working group, sir. Go ahead, Engineer Joffet, please.
Thank you, Attorney. Good afternoon, everyone. For the bidders, welcome to the Previd conference for the project upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport. This is for bid number 21002-01, Alpha. For this project's pre-bid, we'll be discussing the invitation to bid, the scope of work, the instruction to bidders with the corresponding bid data sheet, the general conditions of the contract with the corresponding SECs. And then later in the last part will be an open forum to discuss any clarification regarding the project. For the invitation to bid, the CAAP through the GAA 2021 DOTR downloaded project intends to apply the sum of 25 million as the ABC for the payments under the contract for upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport. Bids in excess of the ABC shall be automatically rejected at bid opening. The CAAP now invites bids for the procurement project. Completion of works is required within 180 calendar days upon receipt of the notice to proceed. Bidders should have completed contracts similar to the project. The description of an eligible bidder is contained in the bidding documents, particularly in Section 2. Bidding will be conducted through open competitive bidding procedures using non-discretionary pass-fail criterion as specified in the IRR of RA 9184, or otherwise known as the Government Procurement Reform Act. Interested bidders may obtain further information from CAAP and inspect the bidding documents at the address given from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. A complete set of bidding documents was made available since January 4 and will be until the deadline of submission of bid from CAAP back office at Mir Road, and upon payment of applicable fee for the bidding documents. This is pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by GPPB in the amount of 28,000. This is inclusive of the 12% VAT. bidders to present its proof of payment for the fees by presenting the official receipt in person. Bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat through manual submission at the CAAP Mir Road, Pasay City on or before the 31st of January 2022 at 2 p.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. All bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in ITB Clause 16. The bid opening shall be on the 31st of January at 2 p.m. at CAAP Mir Road and through through Google Meet, and bids will be opened in the presence of the bidders' representatives who choose to attend the said activity. CAAP reserves the right to reject any and all bids on declare a failure bidding or not award the contract at any time prior to the contract award in accordance with Section 41 of RA 9184 and its IRR, without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. Bidding documents may also be downloaded free of charge from the website of the PhilJeps and the website of CAAP, provided that bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than the submission of their bids. For further information, may refer to Dr. Rolly Bayaban, the BAC Head Secretariat, at the given telephone number. For scope of work, for item number 1, supply, delivery, installation, testing, and commissioning of 2 units, brand new 500 kVA, 400 kilowatt 3-phase, 400 volt standby generator set, fuel piping and fittings, including conduit, cableways and trays, interconnecting cables, and other incidentals. Item number 2, supply, delivery, installation, and testing of power cables. Item number 3, supply, testing, installation of 3 167 kVA oil immersed transformer, primary 13.2 kV, secondary 400 volts, outer type, pad-mounted transformer, including 15 kV cutout switch, metal cross arm, and incidentals. Item number 4, provision of concrete transformer platform with concrete cable entrance. Item number 5, provision of concrete manhole from powerhouse to service entrance, concrete platform with a 4 by 110 millimeter diameter PVC pipe, thick wall, 3 units concrete manhole. Item number 6, application to electric cooperative municipal permits, DANR permit to operate and install the 2 500 kVA generators. And then lastly, the item number 7 is testing and commissioning. For ITB, with the corresponding bid data sheet, on the left side is the standard instruction to bidders, and on the right is the bid data sheet corresponding to the specific items on the ITB. For number 3, ITB, or section number 3, bidding requirements, ITB Clause 3, Certificate of Site Inspection, Annex or Annex B, Form 1, duly signed by Airport Manager of Catbalogan Airport or his or her duly authorized representative is required to be submitted. This shall include all the following documents as attachment to the Certificate of Site Inspection and shall form part of the bidder's technical documents. Letter A, company or copy of the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. Letter B, company of the airport's facilities logbook appearing the names and the signatures of the inspectors. And lastly, letter C, picture of the proposed site, including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or officer in charge or his or her duly authorized representative. For ITB Clause 3, bids not complying with the above instruction shall be disqualified. This is just an illustration of the Annex B Form 1 and sample of the airport logbook and company ID. For ITB 5.2, for eligible bidders, For this purpose, contracts similar to the project refer to contracts which have the same major categories of work, which shall be building construction with electromechanical works or construction of industrial plant. For section 7.1, subcontracting is not allowed for this project. For documents comprising the bid, eligibility, and technical components under section 10.1, bidder shall submit all eligibility and technical documents as specified in section 10, checklist of the technical and financial documents. Class A documents, the legal documents, valid field JEPs with platinum membership. Please submit all the pages. Letter B, the SEC registration certificate or DTI for sole proprietorship or CDA for cooperatives or its equivalent document. Letter C, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of business of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for exclusive economic zones or areas. And lastly, the tax clearance per EO number 398. In connection to GPPB Circular 07/2017 dated 31 July 2017, the bidder shall have the following options. Number 1, submit the Certificate of Field Jobs Registration and Platinum Membership, including its Annex A, in lieu of the uploaded Class A eligibility documents identified in Section 852 of the revised IRR of 9184, provided that all Class A eligibility documents listed under the aforesaid Annex A are all uploaded and maintained current and uploaded in the Field Jobs Registry. Submit, number 2 option, submit a combination of the Field Jobs Registration and Platinum Membership, including its Annex A and Class A eligibility documents identified in Section 852. In the event that aforesaid Class A eligibility documents listed in Annex A of the Field Jobs Registration and Platinum Membership are reflected to be outdated, the bidder shall submit such current and updated Class A eligibility documents. Number 3, submit all the Class A eligibility documents only, provided that the Field Jobs Registration and Platinum Membership shall be submitted as post-qual requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the IRR. For technical documents, statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Bidder should use the Annex A Form 1 for this requirement. Letter F, statement of the bidder's SLCC using Annex A Form 2. And next, Field Jobs license, PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of JV, and registration for the type and the cost of the contract to be bid, and joint resolution using Annex A Form 3. Next is original copy of the bid security. If in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration using Annex B Form 2. And for specific to this project, which shall include the following. Number 1, organizational chart for the contract to be bid using Annex B Form 3. Number 2, list of operators or contractors' key personnel using Annex B Form 4, 5A, 5B, and 5C. And number 3, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, using Annex B Form 6. Letter J, original duly signed OSS using Annex B, Form 7, and if applicable, the original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. And this shall include all the following documents as attachments to the OSS. Number 1, certification under oath attesting that they have no pending case against the government, in addition to the eligibility requirements. Number 2, legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP Enforcement and Legal Service with respect to the non-pending cases of the prospective bidder against the authority. And lastly, bid bulletins if applicable. Still under documents comprising the eligibility and technical components, project requirement for the certificate of site inspection using Annex B, Form 1, shall be duly signed by the airport manager of Catbalogan Airport or his duly authorized representative. This shall include all the following documents as attachment to the certificate of site inspection. Number 1, company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. And number 2, copy of the airport's facilities visitors logbook appearing the names and signatures of inspectors and the picture of the proposed site, including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or the authorized representative. And next, for the financial document, the prospective bidder's audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total and current assets and liabilities stamped received by the BIR or its duly accredited authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the bid or from the date of submission of bid. Letter M, the prospective bidder's NFCC computation, and Class B documents, if applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with RA 4566 and its IRR, in case the joint venture is already in existence, or a duly notarized statements for all the potential joint venture partners, stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the GBA in the instance that the bid is successful. Please take note that bids not complying with the above instruction shall be disqualified. For 10.3, PCAB license, a valid PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration small b, category C and D for general engineering, building and industrial plant with special class registration, electrical, mechanical, or electromechanical works for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For Section 10.4, the key personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set below. Key personnel, project civil engineer, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, materials engineer, construction foreman, safety and health officer, with a general experience of 5 years in general engineering and relevant experience of 3 years in construction of industrial plant or electromechanical works. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. Section 10.5, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. Please take note that the bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For documents comprising specifically for the financial component, the discount stated in the financial bid form shall be computer written with the same font style and size as of the whole text of the said form, Discounts that are either handwritten, typewritten, or computer written in other font style and size shall not be considered. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid as specified in Section 10. This shall include the complete accomplishment of all the following documents as stated and required under Section 8 of this document and shall form part of the bidder's financial documents. Letter A, the original duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. Letter B, the bill of quantities. Letter C, summary of bid proposal. Letter D, bill of materials and cost estimates. Letter E, summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. Cash flows by quarter and payment schedule. Please take note of the annexes mentioned and the form numbers for the following requirements. And also note that bids not complying with the above instruction shall be disqualified. For 11.2, bids exceeding the ABC of the product shall be disqualified. For bid security, the bid security shall be in the form of bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. For bid security in cash, cashier's or mother's check, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit, the amount shall not be less than 2% of the ABC or 500,000. For letter B, in case of surety bond, the amount of not less than 5% of the ABC or 1.25 million. For sealing and marking of bids, Section 16, each and every page thereof shall be initialed or signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Submitted eligibility, technical and financial documents shall be properly marked with index tabs or ear tabs and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order in the form of page 3 of 100. Page number of last page of the document shall be per envelope basis. Pagination should be sequential based on the entire span of the whole document inside the envelope. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be automatically disqualified. Each bidder shall also submit one original bid. So no more copy 1 and copy 2. Submission of bid online is not allowed. For illustration, on screen are index tabs, the table of contents, and sample pagination and sign on each page. For Section 19.2, partial bid is not allowed. The infrastructure project is packaged in a single lot, and the lot shall not be divided into sublots for the purpose of bidding, evaluation, and contract award. For post-qualification, Section 20, the bidder with the lowest calculated bid that complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions shall submit its letter A, latest income and business tax returns filed through EFPS. Letter B, business licenses and permits required by law. Letter C, the latest audited financial statements. And letter D, the key personal licenses. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security. This is in accordance with Section 69 of the IRR. For signing of contract, Section 21, the following relevant documents project documents are required to be submitted by the successful bidder who submitted the LCRB as part of the contract agreement during its signing. Letter A, construction schedule. Letter B, bar chart and S-curve per CPM, network diagram, manpower schedule, construction methods, equipment utilization schedule. Construction safety and health programs approved by the Department of Labor and Employment, upgrading of power system at Catbalogan Airport. So this is a requirement prior to the signing of contract. For GCC, with its corresponding SCCs, sectional completion of works is not applicable for this project. Possession of site under 3.1, the CAAP shall give possession of all parts of the site to the contractor upon receipt of the notice to proceed. For Section 6, certificate of site inspection signed by FIC or his or her representative. For warranty requirement, the warranty is 1 year, defect liability period, and 1 year warranty. For Section 10, no day works are applicable to this contract. For Section 11, program of work, the contractor should submit the program of work to CAAP's representative within 7 days of delivery of the notice to proceed. In 11.2, the amount to be withheld for late submission of an updated program of work is 25 million. For advance payment, special conditions for this contract is no mobilization, and advance payments will be extended or paid for all contracts, purchase orders for all goods, services, and infrastructure projects. This is under the OTR memorandum dated 10 July 2018. For operating and maintenance manuals under 15.1, the date of by which operating and maintenance manuals are required is upon completion of the project. The date by which as-built drawings are required is upon completion of the project. PDF or AutoCAD file of the as-built plans shall include the as attachment to the required hard copy of the same upon completion of the project. Under Section 5.2, the amount to be withheld for failing to produce as-built drawings and or operating and maintenance manuals by the date required is 2% of the contract price. Mr. Chair, the presentation is complete. We may now open the floor for any clarification regarding the project, Mr. Chair. Thank you. For the information of the bidder, a pending bid bulletin will be issued answering other queries by the bidders. It's, as mentioned, is still pending. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you, TWG. To the bidders, you may now ask question.
Sir, question. This is yes, sir. This is from Gen Diesel Philippines. Regarding the bid security, we intend to submit a surety bond. May we know the validity of the surety bond, because the our bank is asking for the validity. it was not mentioned in the bid docs, the validity of the bid security in the form of surety bond.
TWG, you may answer.
Sir, we'll check the documents right now, sir. Mr. Chair, according to the rules of the GPPV, Mr. Chair, the validity of the bid security will be, it should be not exceeding 120 calendar days, Mr. Chair. So they may get a surety bond, but its validity shall not be more than 120 calendar days.
So, sir, can we just specify in our bid security that validity is 120 calendar days?
Yes, sir. You may indicate that it is valid 120 calendar
Indeed.
days from the submission
No
of
day.
bids,
Okay.
of bid, sir. Okay
Thank
po,
you, sir.
Is it cleared?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, another question. For the technical, it was mentioned in the technical specifications that the genset should be compliant with the NFPA 110. Can you confirm that this is really necessary?
Mr. Chair, may we ask the end user, Mr. Chair, to answer the requirement?
Okay, end user, please ask the
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
As mentioned in the specification, all generators should be in compliance with NFPA 110, which is standard for emergency and standby power systems. Bidder, are we clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Noted po. And can I ask one more question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I checked the checklist. There was no mention about the attaching brochures or certificates or any documents, technical documents. Where can we attach? Are we
Okay.
allowed to attach these brochures or certificates or journals in our technical bid?
Bidder, although we inadvertently missed the brochure, we will issue a bid bulletin requiring all bidders to attach the brochures of the main equipment, the generators, and also the cables. So this will be part of the technical documents.
Okay, so just to clarify, bid bulletin will be issued in relation
Yes.
to that question.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. I have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Philip.
Yes, yes. GP Ordiliano from OneCom. I would like to clarify on the bid data sheet with regards to the single largest completed contract. It is stated that it should be uh, for construction and construction of industrial plant and construction for the electromechanical works. Um, is it okay to submit power systems for this requirement, since as per the title it's an upgrade of the power systems for Catbalogan Airport?
You're muted, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Vega.
I think Mr. Panesa is muted.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
You are referring to the previous project with your company, referring to the installation of power system, but that is also that is also included, or we will also that is also allowed. That is because part of the electromechanical works, as stated in the B data sheet for pickup license.
Thank you for the response. That is duly noted. I have another question, sir.
Yes, sir.
With
Go
regards,
ahead.
yes, with regards to the pickup requirement.
Yes, sir.
For the pickup requirement, it should be electromechanical works, right? Is it acceptable to submit the bidder that has a pickup license with no specific category?
We have to follow the what was stated in the BDS. A specialty should be electrical or electromechanical works, as
Okay.
stated in the B data sheet, sir. We have to follow that.
That is duly noted, sir. Mr. Floro.
Thank you po. Thank you.
On my part, that's all for my clarifications. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, do we have other bidders who want to ask clarification or question? Hearing none, so I think that's all for this project. And I think, Secretariat, how many days are we we are allowed to wait for the written query from the bidders?
Sir, should the prospective bidders have any questions or clarifications, sir, they have until 10 days before the opening of bids, sir, which will be on... They have 10 days before the opening of bids, sir, to submit their inquiries, sir, or their questions, sir, so that the technical working group will have ample time, sir, to issue the bid bulletin, sir.
Okay, thank you. So take note of that to our prospective bidder, and we will be issuing bid bulletin for the questions that were raised before. Okay, to give clarification. Okay, so since there is no more questions, so I think that's all, and thank you for your participation. Okay, so let's go to
Okay.
the other agenda.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, our next agenda, sir, is the pre-bid conference for the purchase installation of PAPI at runway 1331 and Aerodrome Beacon at Catbalogan Airport, amounting to 22,520,000, sir. This is an ANS DOTR project. This will be presented again by the TWG, sir, for ANS, Engineer Jofet Torrefranca.
Go ahead, Jopet.
Thank you, sir.
To our prospective bidders, ma'am, sir, can you state your name and the company you represent for records purposes?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Malcolm Ong from Evercon Builders. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I think, Mr. Chair, that is the only a prospective bidder who inquired and who is interested to participate in this project. Engineer Jofet Torrefranca, Mr. Chair, will present on behalf of the technical working group. Go ahead, Engineer Jofet, please.
Thank you, Attorney. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to the bidders. Welcome to the private conference for this project, purchase installation of PAPI at runway 1331 and Aerodrome Beacon, also for Catbalogan Airport. So we'll be discussing the invitation to bid, the scope of work, the ITB with the BDS, and the GCC, and with the corresponding SCC, and then lastly, the discussion or clarification regarding the project. For invitation to bid, CAAP through GAA 2021 DOTR downloaded projects intends to apply the sum of 22,520,000, being the ABC to payments under the contract for purchase installation of PAPI at runway 1331 and Aerodrome Beacon at Catbalogan Airport. Bids received in excess of the ABC shall be automatically rejected at bid opening. And CAAP now invites bids for the procurement of the project. Completion of works is required within 120 calendar days upon receipt of the notice to proceed. Bids should have completed a contract similar to the project in which the description of an eligible bidder is contained in the bidding documents, particularly in Section 2 of the ITP. Bidding will be conducted through an open competitive bidding procedure using non-discretionary pass-fail criterion as specified in the IRR. And interested bidders may obtain further information from CAAP and inspect the bidding documents at the address given from Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. A complete set of the bidding documents is available since January 2022 and until deadline of submission of bid from CAAP, Mir Road, Pasay City, and also from the CAAP website. And upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the GPPB in the amount of 28,000. This is inclusive of the 12% VAT. Bidders to present proof of payment for the fees by presenting the official receipt in person. Bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat through manual submission at the CAAP Mir Road on or before the 31st of January at 2 p.m. Late bids shall not be accepted, and all bids must be accompanied by bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in ITB Clause 16. Bid opening shall be on the 31st of January 2022 at CAAP Mir Road through Google Meet. Bids will be opened in the presence of the bidders' representatives who choose to attend the said activity. CAAP reserves the right to reject any and all bids declare a failure of bidding or not award the contract at any time prior to the contract award in accordance with Section 41 of RA 9184 and its IRR, without thereby incurring any liability of the affected bidder or bidders. Bidding documents may also be downloaded free of charge from the website of PhilJeps and the website of CAAP, provided that bidders shall pay the applicable fee for the bidding documents not later than the submission of their bids. For further information, please refer to Dr. Rolly Bayaban, our BAC Secretariat Head at this telephone number. For the scope of work for this project, this is based on the Bill of Quantities. Item number 1, the general requirements. Number 2, site works. Number 3, underground cable ducts, conduits, manholes, groundings. Number 4, power control and monitoring system. Number 5, the PAPI system. Number 6, the rotating beacon. Number 7, miscellaneous. For the ITB, with the corresponding bid data sheet on the right, for bidding requirements under Section 3, the certificate of site inspection using Annex B, Form 1, shall be duly signed by the airport manager of Catbalogan Airport or his or her duly authorized representative is required to be submitted, and this shall include all the following documents as attachment to the certificate of site inspection and shall form part of the bidder's technical documents. Letter A, the copy of company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. Letter B, copy of the airport or facility visitor's logbook appearing the names and signatures of inspectors. And letter C, picture of the proposed site including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or officer in charge or his or her duly authorized representative. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For illustration, Annex B Form 1 is on screen and a sample company ID and airport logbook. For eligible bidders, for this purpose, contracts similar to the project refer to contracts which have the same major categories of work, which shall be the supply, delivery, and installation of airfield lighting system. For this project, subcontracting is not allowed. Under Section 10, documents comprising the bid, eligibility, and technical components, bidders shall submit all eligibility and technical documents as specified in Section 10, the checklist of technical and financial documents with the following: Class A documents. Under legal documents, the valid PhilJEPs, the registration certificate from SEC, the mayor's or business permit, and the tax clearance. Also, in connection with the GPPB circular, the bidder shall have the following options: to submit the certificate of PhilJEPs registration and platinum membership, including its Annex A, in lieu of the uploaded Class A eligibility documents identified in Section 8.5.2 of the revised RRR, provided that all Class A eligibility documents listed under the aforesaid Annex A are all updated or uploaded and maintained current and updated in the PhilJEPs registry. Number 2 option is to submit a combination of the PhilJEPs registration and platinum membership, including its Class A and Annex A and Class A eligibility documents identified in Section 8.5.2. This is in the event that aforesaid Class A eligibility documents listed in the Annex A of the PhilJEPs registration and membership is or are reflected to be outdated. The bidder shall submit such current and updated Class A eligibility documents. Number 3 option, submit all the Class A eligibility documents only, provided that the PhilJEPs registration and platinum membership shall be submitted as a post-qual requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the revised RRR. For technical documents, the statement of prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, using Annex A Form 1. Letter F, Statement of the bidder's SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules using Annex A Form 2, and PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of JVs, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid, and a joint resolution using Annex A Form 3. And next is the original copy of the bid security. If in the form of surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of the notarized bid securing declaration using Annex B Form 2. And for project requirements, additional documents shall be submitted. Number 1, the organizational chart for the contract to be bid using Annex B Form 3. Number 2, list of contractors' key personnel. For example, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foremen, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data using Annex B Form 4, 5A, 5B, and 5C. Number 3, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor, vendor, or for the duration of the project, as the case may be, and using Annex P Form 6. Next is the original duly signed OSS or Omnibus Sworn Statement using Annex B Form 7, and if applicable, the original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. And this shall include all the following documents as attachment to the OSS. Number 1, certification under oath attesting that they have no pending case or cases against the government in addition to the eligibility requirements. Number 2, legal clearance to be issued by the CAAP Enforcement and Legal Service with respect to the non-pending cases of the prospective bidder against the authority. And lastly, bid bulletins if applicable. For additional documents, project documents, certificate of site inspection using Annex B, Form 1, duly signed by the airport manager of Catbalogan Airport or his duly authorized representative shall be submitted. And this shall include all the following documents as attachment to the certificate of site inspection. Number 1, copy of the company ID of the person who conducted the site inspection. And number 2, copy of the airport's facility visitors logbook appearing the names and signatures of inspectors. And number 3, picture of the proposed site including the personnel who conducted the site inspection together with the airport manager or officer in charge or his or her duly authorized representative. Now, for financial documents, the prospective bidders' audited financial statements showing, among others, the prospective bidders' total and current assets and liabilities stamped received by the PRR or its duly accredited and authorized institution for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. And lastly, the prospective bidders' NFCC computation. Plus B documents, if applicable, for joint venture, a duly signed JVA in accordance with RA 4566 and its IRR, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. Please note that bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For pickup, valid pickup license or special pickup license in the case of joint ventures and registration. Medium A category B for electromechanical work and navigational facilities for the type and cost of the contract to be bid. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. 10.4, the key personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set below. Please note that bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For section 10.5, still documents comprising the bid. The minimum major equipment requirements are the following. And bids not complying with the above instruction shall be disqualified. For section 11, for financial component, the discounts stated in the financial bid form shall be computer written with the same font style and size as the whole text of the said form. Documents that are either handwritten, typewritten, or computer written in other font style and size shall not be considered. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid as specified in section 10, which is the checklist of technical and financial documents. These shall include the complete accomplishment of all the following documents as stated and required under Section 8 of the bidding document and shall form part of the bidder's financial documents. Letter A, the original duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, the bill of quantities, summary of bid proposal, bill of materials and cost estimates, summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with a bid, cash flow by quarters, and payment schedule. Please take note of the required annex, form numbers to be used for this requirement, and that bids not complying with the above instructions shall be disqualified. For section 11.2, bids exceeding the ABC of the project shall be disqualified. Under bid security, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. The amount of not less than 2% of the ABC or 450,400 if the bid security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit, and amount of not less than 5% of the ABC or 1.126 million if bid security is in surety bond. Bid validity shall be 120 calendar days. For section 16, sealing and marking of bids, each and every page thereof shall be initialed or signed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Submitted eligibility, technical, and financial documents shall be properly marked with index tabs or ear tabs and must be sequentially paginated in accurate order in the form of page 3 of 100 as an example. Page number of the last page of the document shall be per envelope basis. Pagination should be sequential based on the entire span of the whole documents inside the envelope. Bids not complying with the above instructions shall be automatically disqualified. Number 2, each bidder should submit only one original copy of the first and the second components of the bid. So no more copy 1 and copy 2. Number 3, submission online is not allowed. On screen is just a sample illustration of the requirements. for the tabbing and the pagination. For detailed evaluation and comparison of bids, under 19.2, partial bid is not allowed. The infrastructure project is packaged in a single lot, and the lot shall not be divided into sublots for the purpose of bidding, evaluation, and contract award. Number 20, ITB 20, post qualification. The bidder with the LCB that complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions shall submit its letter A, latest income and business tax returns filed through EFPS. Letter B, business licenses and permits required by law. Letter C, latest audited financial statements. And letter D, key personal licenses. Failure to submit any of the post-qual requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the IRR of RA 9184. For signing of contract, the following relevant project documents are required to be submitted by the successful bidder who submitted the LCRB as part of the contract agreement during its signing. Letter A, construction schedule. B, bar chart and S-curve. C, part CPM, network diagram. Letter D, manpower schedule. Letter E, construction methods. Letter F, equipment utilization schedule. Construction safety and health programs approved by the Department of Labor and Employment. Purchase, installation of PAPI at runway 1331 and Aerodrome beacon at Catbalogan Airport. For general conditions of the contract with the corresponding special conditions, for Section 2, sectional completion of works is not applicable. For 3.1, under possession of site, the CAAP shall give possession of all parts of the site to the contractor upon receipt of the notice to proceed. For site investigation reports, certificate of inspection signed by FIC or her representative is required. For warranty, the warranty required is 1 year defect liability period and 1 year warranty. For day works, no day works are applicable to the contract. Under program of work, the contractor shall submit the program of work to the procuring entity's representative within 7 calendar days of delivery of the notice of award. The amount to be withheld for late submission of an updated POW is 22.52 million. Under advance payment requirements, special conditions of the contract, no mobilization and advance payments will be extended or paid for all contracts, purchase orders for all goods, services, and infrastructure projects. This is per DOTR memorandum dated 10 July 2018. On operating and maintenance manuals, section 15.1, the date by which operating and maintenance manuals are required is upon completion of the project, and the date by which as-built drawings are required is upon completion of the project. PDF or AutoCAD file or CAD files of the as-built plans shall be included or shall include as attachment to the required hard copy of the same upon completion of the project. For operating and maintenance manuals requirement under 15.2, the amount to be withheld for failing to produce as-built drawings and or operating and maintenance manuals by the date required is 2% of the contract price. Mr. Chair, the presentation is complete for the TWG. The floor is now open for any clarification regarding the project, and end user is here to also clarify any questions regarding the technical specifications of the project. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maybe ask the representative of Evercon Builders, sir, if you have any questions.
Yes, good afternoon. Last week we sent the official query regarding this tender.
May
Yeah.
I request if that was received by the Secretariat?
Yes, sir, it was received by the Secretariat and forwarded to the TWG, sir.
Mr. Chair, to respond to the queries of Evercon Builder, Mr. Chair, the technical working group, in coordination with the end user, is now are now preparing the reply and or the bid bulletin to be issued for this. They actually have a couple of questions and areas for clarification. Um, in fact, Mr. Chair, we would like to just raise a few questions as indicated in the letter of Evercon, Mr. Chair. They indicated here in the letter that they are requesting for the change of duration date and for the project, and that it be extended to 300 calendar days instead of 120 calendar days, considering that the items are not off-the-shelf items, and they have to purchase it from the supplier abroad, and this may require additional time considering the situation right now. So, but for the technical working group, Mr. Chair, it is suggested that we stick to the 120 calendar days, and then during the implementation, should there be a problem as to the transport, they just have to request for the extension rather than to alter at this point, or to change at this point the number of the duration of the project, which would entail approval of the POW to the by the DG. So instead of having revising the POW, changing the duration of the contract or the project to 300 calendar days, we will just stick to the 120 calendar days, and perhaps during the implementation, that is something that the supplier would just like to request for the extension.
Okay, so we will be issuing a official reply on that.
Yes, sir. We already issued an official reply, but I mean, we are preparing the official reply for for the queries of Evercon, sir. But that is just one of the major points being raised by Evercon, sir.
Okay, so that is considered as the advance information from them. Okay.
Yes, sir. Just an advance information to the bidder as well, sir.
Okay. How about the other relevant issue? Maybe the Evercon could mention it, and if they want to have an answer as of today, what are those issues that you want to bring it up?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. May I be allowed to bring out the question one by one so that the bid bulletin be issued will be uh, acceptable to all parties to avoid any failure of bid in case there will be some uh, item which we cannot comply. So regarding our query number one, uh, under bid data sheet, item clause 10.3, valid pickup license and registration due to category B for electromechanical device and navigational facilities. May we suggest, since these are majority are navigational facilities, may we suggest that the electromechanical works be deleted?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, for this particular item, Mr. Chair, may I request the end user to provide the reply. Evercon is requesting to delete the electromechanical work, considering that the project is only mostly involves navigational facilities.
Mr. Chair, to answer Mr. Malcolm Ong, we find it reasonable to not include or delete the electromechanical work as part of the pickup license and registration, although we in our perspective there is a motor involved, but again, since most of the projects will involve navigational facilities, we'll consider changing the or issuing a bid bulletin on this item.
So, Mr. Ong, your request is granted.
Thank you. May we other queries? I think it's mostly typo error or so may I go to item number 12, all of our queries. In the bid documents, there is a percentage written on the OCM and contractor's profit. So may we suggest that we input our own percentage on the OCM contractor's profit?
Yes, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. We only base our OCM based on the revised guidelines in the preparation of approved budget for the contract. Department order come from the Department of Public Works and Highways, number 197, series of 2016. So in that case, we are bound to follow these guidelines. That on this item, it says that above 5 million up to 50, the total indirect percent for OCM and profit will be 20% only. So this is the basis ng computation of our program of work as well as the ABC. So to answer your questions, we just limited our OCM to 12%, while the profit for the contract is only 8%, a total of 20%.
Yes, I understand, sir, that is on the side of the government
Yes, sir.
to arrive with the estimate, but since we are private entity, so similar to our previous tenders on CAAP and other agency, we are free to put our percentage. It might be lower than your required OCM. So to be consistent with other previous tender, usually this percentage is left blank by CAAP. So it's up to the bidder to put the percentage. I understand that is based on, your estimate is based on the requirements of the DPWH to come up to your estimate. But in case of the price of the bidder, it's normally the bidder who put the percentage.
Okay.
Because there is its own uh, own style, own way of providing their OCM.
Okay, TWG, please comment.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, to respond to the query of Evercom, Mr. Chair, the percentage indicated in the OCM and that of the in the OCM, Mr. Chair, is only the cap, Mr. Chair. So they can go even lower or equal to that of what is indicated in the document, because we are guided by the department order of the Department of Public Works in coming up with this formulation, Mr. Chair. But as mentioned by the bidder Evercon, Mr. Prospective bidder Evercon, they can indicate the lower percentage should they wish, but this percentage as indicated in the OCM would be the cap for this project.
Okay, thank you, TWG. So, end user, Mr. Malcolm Ong, so you hear the comment of TWG.
Okay, noted po. Thank you.
Any more questions? Anyway, baka mahaba pa naman, baka mahaba yung listahan mo. So, in the interest of time, we better answer it written.
Dalawa na lang po. Medyo critical kasi. Regarding po sa VAT, sa bid docs nakalagay is 5%. But in case of BIR, we are required to put 12% VAT on all our sales. So kahit sa accounting ng CAAP, pag to compute for the withholding tax, based on 12% din yung deduction nila, not 5% po.
Mr. Chair, to respond, Mr. Chair, it's 12% VAT, Mr. Chair. We will just issue the necessary bid bulletin to correct that one, sir.
Okay. Next question.
Thank you po. And last po, yung regarding the Construction Health and Safety Program approved by DOLE. Normally, the application for Construction Health and Safety Program is applied on the regional office where the project are. Since we don't have a control with the DOLE, we cannot submit the approved Construction Health Self Program before the preparation of the contract. May we suggest that we submit a Construction Health Safety Program and the approval will be during or before the implementation, because we don't have control on the approval by DOLE, especially now during pandemic.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I suggest, Mr. Chair, for the prospective bidder to attach. Should they be able to obtain the required CHSP before the opening of date? Well, that's better. And if they cannot obtain the approved, Mr. Chair, they can just submit, and it will be provisionally accepted, the application for the approved CHSP, Mr. Chair. So, yung application lang po nila na nilodge nila doon sa DOLE, pwede na pong provisionally po accepted lang po muna natin, i-accept po, subject to the condition that before the post-qualification or the bid evaluation, they will be submitting the approved by the DOLE, Mr. Chair.
An application with the mark that it was received by DOLE.
It was received by the DOLE, Mr. Chair. Because we understand, Mr. Chair, the position of the bidder that the DOLE might take a longer period for now to act upon or approve the application of the companies. So to give consideration, we can provisionally accept the one which was received by the DOLE for approval.
Okay, so there you are. The question has been answered. Do you have additional question? This is
None for now, sir.
Mr. Chair, I just want to include also, Mr. Chair, they indicated in their letter, Mr. Chair, that as to the business permit, they are just requesting to attach the present, the 2021, the last year, 2021. But considering that we will be opening the bids, Mr. Chair, on February, it is suggested that should they attach only the 2021, it should also be accompanied with an official receipt from the LGU that they are applying for the renewal as per GPPB resolution or policy, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Abercott, did you able to take that?
Yes, sir. So actually, sir, we have already paid we have already applied our renewal for application permit and also paid the corresponding fee. However, as advised by Manila City Hall, unlike before, we do the pickup of the business permit physically, but now they will only mail the business permit, which we don't know when we will receive it, especially now during the pandemic.
Yes, sir.
So we will attach.
In that case, sir, you just attach the official receipt for your renewal, payment for the renewal, sir, together with the old business permit, sir.
Okay, thank you po.
Okay, so I think that's all, and even though we answer already, maybe we will be issuing also an official reply to your queries. Okay, so if there are additional query, then we could accept it 10 days before the opening of bid. Okay, so thank you, Abercon, for participating this pre-bid conference.
Thank you.
Okay, so Secretariat, do we have other matters?
That's all for today's agenda, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, for the technical working group, Mr. Chair, if the BAC would allow, we are prepared to present the bid evaluation report for the projects which we opened last Monday, and we request permission for us to present, sir, in order for us to proceed with the conduct of the post-qualification, should the BAC approve, sir.
May I request comment from my fellow members of the BAC? The TWG is asking clearance for them to present the bid evaluation report for the project that we opened last Monday. So is it okay, members?
No objection, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
For me, no objection also, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so TWG, proceed with the report.
With that, Mr. Chair, may I request Engineer Joffre Torrefranca to present on behalf of the Technical Working Group the bid evaluation report of the Technical Working Group for the project supply and delivery of spare parts for City Voice Communication System. for supply and delivery of block up converter BUC for VSAT at Philippine Air Traffic Management Center, and supply and delivery of block up converter BUC for various airport. Go ahead, Sir Joffet.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. This is the bid evaluation report for the project supply and delivery of block up converter or BUC for various airports. The ABC is 5,848,000 with the project duration of 150 calendar days. This is under bid number 21006-12 Alpha. The project was published last December 7, 2021 and was opened last January 17. For the background, Transmonitor Technologies 86 Corporation One Commerce International Corporation JV is the only bidder that purchased and participated in the procurement for the project with the OR number 084212 with a date dated 24 December 2021. Transmonitor Technologies Corporation One Commerce JV submitted its bid proposal within the deadline and was opened and checked in the presence of the bidder's representative via online. The bid proposal of Transmonitor Technologies One Commerce JV was rated as passed in the preliminary examination of its bid during the opening of bids for having submitted the required documents specified in the bidding document using a non-discretionary pass or fail criteria. And BAC approved to proceed with the bid evaluation of Transmonitor Technologies Corporation One Commerce JV bid proposal following TWG recommendation. For the findings, the submitted bid proposal of the JV is 5,737,998 pesos. And the calculated bid is 5,737,998. The calculation is attached in the report, Mr. Chair. And for the remarks, the bid of Transmonitor Technologies Corporation, One Commerce Corporation JV, is a complete bid, single calculated bid, and submitted bid proposal is within the ABC. The tendered bid proposal of Transmonitor Technologies One Commerce JV was ascertained complete for offering all the required items using GPPB prescribed price schedule for goods offered from abroad form of the above-mentioned project. The calculated bid of Transmonitor Technologies Corporation One Commerce JV is equal to the submitted bid proposal and is below the ABC of the project. The bid proposal of the JB is considered as the single calculated bid. For the TWG recommendation, with reference to the above findings, the bid proposal of Transmonitor Technologies Corporation One Commerce Corporation JV is recommended to be declared as the single calculated bid, and that post-qualification evaluation be conducted to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. The attached in the report, Mr. Chair, is the abstract of bids as calculated, and annex attachment 1, the calculated bid price for the project, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
For consideration and approval of the committee, sir.
Okay, so TTWG is recommending the conduct of post-qualification to the bidder. Any motion from the members of the BAC? To the members of the BAC, there is a motion or there is a recommendation by the TTWG to conduct post-qualification evaluation for the bidder for bidder Transmolitor Technologies and One Commerce Corporation GB for the project Black Up Converter at Manila at Barrios Airport. So any motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, adopt the recommendation of the TWG for the post-qualification of Transmolitor Technologies. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I second, Mr. Chair.
Okay, with the recommendation, motion and second the motion, the BAC adopt the recommendation of the TWG for the conduct of post-qualification evaluation for the GB of Transmolitor Technologies and One Commerce for the project supply and delivery of Black Up Converter for Barrios Airport. Thank you. Any other items?
We still have one last project, Mr. Chair, also for bid evaluation. Go ahead, Engineer Japheth.
Thank you, Attorney Frank. Mr. Chair, presented on screen is the bid evaluation report of the TWG Alpha for the project supply and delivery of Black Up Converter for VSAT at Philippine ATMC. The location of project, the Manila ATMC with ABC of 6 million pesos. The project duration is 90 calendar days. This is bid under bid number 21-005-12 Alpha. The project was published last December 7 and bids were opened on 17 January 2022. For the background, Transmolitor Technologies Corporation, One Commerce Corporation JV is the only bidder that purchased and participated in the procurement of the project with OR number 084213 dated 24 December 2021. And the JB submitted its bid proposal within the deadline and was also opened and checked in the presence of the bidder's representative via online. The bid proposal of the joint venture was rated as passed in the preliminary examination of its bid during the opening of bids for having submitted the required documents